The following is a presentation of The Day.
Thanks for joining us. It's noon on Thursday. That means it's time for live lunch break. We're streaming here at theday.com as I speak. My name is Rick Coster, and thanks for joining us. Today we have Tony Chagnon, and I had to ask Tony, even though we've met each other, because I'm from down south by New Orleans and stuff, and we'd say Chagnon, and that's kind of not right.
It works for me. It's French.
It's good to see you again, and folks around here know Tony from Mustache straight to VHS, and he's kind of getting back into songwriting in a big fashion with a spate of creativity, and so we're honored to have him here today. Tony Chagnon.
Thanks for having me. Look at the sky like a big vacuum, and it's pulling the fog up from the hills. And even though I've gone so far away, oh, I know I'll remember it still. When you ask, will you come back, I will say I surely will. The sun is burning up the clouds, and the colors streaming like a brush is not far behind. Well, the trees are moving and swaying, oh, open-ended is my mind. With the sun out still, oh, I know it's gonna shine. And it's a landscape of the gods, and I know that you won't have to go too far to absorb the wisdom hidden still. Oh, drink from this cup till you are filled. And the very thought of it all, it's bound to give any man the chills. It's like a big vacuum, and it's pulling the fog up from the hills. And even though you've gone so far away, oh, I know that I'll remember you still. When you ask, will you come back, I will say I surely will. That song was called Fog. This one's called Spinning in My Hands. I can feel the world spinning in my hands, slipping through my fingers as we speak, as if this were all part of some desperate plan, where the only outcome is defeat. Winter's cold resembles past mistakes, and we're found alone inside this mess we helped create, cast aside and left behind. It's easy to walk, it's getting to that first step. Hidden whispers as a tree scream helps me to forget and get back to the root of what I was before this. And force myself to take a second step. Faces drifting further away with every day, and with my crutches I'll get by. I would rather have tried and failed than to live with the thought that I didn't try. It's easy to walk, it's getting to that first step. The hidden whispers as the trees scream helps me to forget and get back to the root of who I was before this. And teach myself to take another step. I can feel the world spinning in my hands, slipping through my fingers as we speak.
Come to Cloder Farms.
Lose yourself in the possibilities for your home, yard, heart, and soul.
Come to Cloder Farms.
And see what we're building for you. Offshore, out in the Sound, your island getaway awaits. Yes, Block Island beckons. With so much to do and see, a Block Island getaway is now closer than ever. Ride the high-speed Block Island Express from New London on one of 4 daily departures, where an island escape is yours at GoBlockIsland.com. That's GoBlockIsland.com.
So by doing the house and trade-in, you know, that we use that towards our down payment towards this condo, and it made life so much easier for us. It took all the worry out of everything.
We're listening to Tony Chagnon on live lunch break here at theday.com, and I'm fascinated always by the creative process and the evolution, because you come back with Mustache and straight to VHS, indie, punk, garage type background, and the songs that you just played and what I've been listening to on SoundCloud, and as you alluded to when we were talking off air, a lot of them have come in a spate of creativity lately. Mm-hmm. They're very melodic, a lot of really almost pop type hooks. Yeah. You can't just automatically write a good pop hook. How does that happen?
I don't know. You know, it's weird. Like, out of all of the music that I grew up listening to, which is it's, you know, I listen to all sorts of different music, but I've always been a sucker for like Phil Collins and you know, and Genesis stuff, and like a well-crafted pop song.
Right.
And a lot of these songs, the process with writing these was I would have the hook, you know, and for like the last song that I just played, Spinning in My Hands, is that song started with a one-line poem that I had written years ago, but the hook of that song, the chorus, was written before anything else in the song, and it was just something that, with a lot of these songs, it's, I sit down with the guitar and I play a lot of them in like major and minor chords, so that it's just really, it catches you right off the bat.
Right.
And I think that when it comes to the stuff that I write solo, it's, I want to, well, it's easier for me to remember them if they're catchy, you know, because it's like if I write it and it sticks in my head, then hopefully that translates and it'll stick into other people's heads too.
Really,
so.
really catchy. And it's neat that you said about the major and minor chords, because Fog, the first song, the choruses are almost like you could hear it in a Delta blues song, and then you bridge into this Todd Rundgren thing. It's just a neat process.
Yeah. Well, and that song specifically too was written when I lived in Vermont, and it was I worked at this deli, and it was 6 in the morning, and we lived in Johnson State College campus, and you know, we came down the hill, and just it was a really weird scene with all of this fog, kind of like the sun came out and it was just burning it up, and it looked like the fog was kind of shooting up into the sky, and it was something that like struck me, and I started writing down the lyrics on the back of a grocery receipt that that I had found on the floor of the car. And I mean, I write very much in that vein, where it's just random things that'll strike me throughout the day, and I see them and I write about them. So.
Well, it's terrific stuff, and
thank you.
It's good to have Tony Chagnon with us on Live Lunch Break. You want to play a couple more?
Absolutely. Yeah, and this next song, like I was mentioning before, it's called Malkamus. It's one of my oldest songs. It's a song that's basically about how sometimes you just need to get away and walk and be alone with your thoughts. It's very much kind of a love story, I suppose, so happy Valentine's Day.
Malkamus stood with his arms outstretched, with an emptiness in his eyes. He was known to be a man of peace, and it comes to no surprise that in his search for tranquility, of which he could not find, for the only stone that he left unturned was the one within his mind. And he walked along the road, staying beside the tracks, and he's never looking back. And he walked along the road, staying beside the tracks, and waiting to lighten his load, and never looking back. And he's never looking back. Turned his eyes up to the sky and let the stars shine on his face. He said, "You got me wrong, I'm not the guy, and if I were, this is not the time or place." And he walked along the road, staying beside the tracks, and he's never looking back. And he walked along the road, staying beside the tracks, waiting to lighten his load, never looking back. No, he's never looking back. When a breeze moves through your hair and I realize things don't seem so bad. 'Cause if I think too much on the times I've lost, I'll miss out on all the good times there are to be had. Take it from me, for I should know, 'cause I'm still waiting for the wind to blow my way. And I walk along the road, staying beside the tracks, and I'm never looking back. And I walk along the road, staying beside the tracks, I'm just waiting to lighten my load. All the while I'm not looking back, and all the while I'm never looking back. And this is another old one. Shuffling down the street happens to be when I get my thinking done, and today with the sun in my face, I happen to be thinking of you. You wrote so often, sincerity in the letters, your heart was in the words, still have everyone. And even the one when you said you were hurt, because I disappeared from your lives without a word. An explanation would be nice, but an apology is deserved for all that's been said and done since then. Please believe you were always my friend. Remember the days when we that every letter you sent was read, that every letter you sent was read, and I wish they had gone straight to my head. That one was called Letters Sent.
Offshore, out in the Sound, your island getaway awaits. With so much to do and see, a Block Island getaway is now closer than ever. Where an island escape is yours at GoBlockIsland.com.
So literally, we're changing deeds. You're using your house at an agreed upon number towards a down payment for the purchase here. It couldn't be much easier, really.
Come to Cloder Farms.
We believe in the art of handcrafted furniture. Workbench built in the USA to your specifications. The Cloder Farms Keystone Collection. Furniture handmade just for you. And see what we're building for you.
This is Tony Chagnon sitting here with me on Live Lunch Break. I'm Rick Coster, streaming at theday.com. And during the break, Tony and I were talking about, there are many adversaries to the musician, but we were talking about the creeping impediments of arthritis. And I'm older than you, but I was about your age when it started, and you're it's getting there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the left hand in particular. So, and even in the last couple of years, and actually it was straight to VHS. I think was the stretching of my hand playing such loud bass like that.
Right.
You know, John's a pretty prolific writer, so I had to do a lot of stretching. Especially, it's fun actually. That song, thanks, John. No, I'm just kidding. But,
talking about John Young out there.
he would know that I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I mean, it's, you know, it's starting to creep in, and but it's, you know, it won't stop me.
No, and
So.
I think I'm no doctor, but I think the chord articulation's actually probably good for it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it works it out. Glucosamine chondroitin.
Oh man, that stuff's
It's great.
awesome.
It's the new musician's friend.
It really is, and I wish they tasted like cherry or something, and you could just chew it
wouldn't
up.
that
But
be, you know.
now, speaking of old, you are using a wonderful antiquated piece of equipment over here, which is the
Yes.
Shure Vocal Master PA Brain.
Yes.
And I don't know how long you've had it, but I know when we got one, I thought that was like the first sign that you were serious about it. And you're like, can Madison Square Garden be far away? Because
Yeah.
we have this now. And
Yeah.
it's cool to see that. How long have you had it?
I've had that for a good 5, 6 years.
Yeah.
I bought it from a friend of mine for $50. He
Excellent.
couldn't get it to work, and I bought a fuse. And I've been using it since. It's a powerful PA, and it's I had actually struggled with bringing I have a Marshall solid state amp that I was going to plug my guitar into, but I've found the last few times that I've played, and I played a show at Perks and Corks about a month ago, and ironically enough in a snowstorm, but I opted to plug straight into the PA, and it sounded much better, and I have a lot more control over it.
Yeah.
But it's just a fantastic sounding piece of
Really?
equipment. And for as old as it is, you know, you can't beat it. So.
Yeah, no, they're very cool.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one quick question, because
Sure.
I just ramble around here, and I saw that, and I wanted to talk about it. But you alluded to the fact that for a long time you were playing bass, where you originally were a band leader playing guitar, writing the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about what songwriting is like after you've played bass, because it is a very different approach.
Right.
Some people write songs on bass. I'm not sure whether you did or not, but once you've
Yeah.
been a bass player, it gives you a different sort of perspective as a writer.
Right.
Or am I not?
No,
right?
no, you're absolutely right. And actually, when I first started playing music, I come from a musical family. I started playing bass early on. The first band that I was ever in, or the first two bands I was in, I played bass. But you know, in the instance of Straight to VHS, like I wrote all of my own bass lines, but it was really easy because of the fact that John and I had been playing music together
Right.
for, you know, going on 20 years. So it was a very psychic, communicative relationship that we had musically. So it was really easy. But to go back to writing songs, it wasn't very tough for me, to be honest, because I'm very much the kind of writer where a lot of people just write, you know, say if you're a guitarist, a lot of people write the guitar part and then they write their vocals around it.
Right.
I'm very much the kind of writer where I write everything in my head. So
Yeah.
when I write a song, it's already complete up here. I hear how I want it to be. So for me, it's like putting together a puzzle, you know. It's
Right.
like throwing all the pieces on a table and then you just sit around and you put them all together. So that's very much how I do it, you know, and especially vocal-wise, like I very rarely go in and refine lyrics because they're already set into the musical landscape that I have in my head
Rhythmically
already.
as well as melodically.
Right, yeah,
Right.
exactly. So they're already quite set. And the next song that I'm going to play actually was very much like that. It was one of those songs where it's and actually, as opposed to being completely written and everything like that, this song was only ever meant to be guitar and vocals.
Okay.
And it was something that I wrote with that very much in mind, and every line is meant to correspond with the chords that I chose to fit the song. So
Let's hear it.
All right.
Tony Chagnon.
And this is called Shadow.
Hard rain on the sill is carving out its place in the song that will start my day. Just the right diversion for a change of pace. So many thoughts with nothing to say. The sound of my feet on the street is distracting, but I needed some time away. And this time isn't out. If it were longer, I wouldn't stay here anyway. No peace of mind upon return, a ghost that fades away like a shadow. The evening burns back to the form from which it came. A flickering candle flame dies out, but still one light remains. And this light burns like a sun, but it doesn't cast a silhouette for everyone. I can see the look on your face. There's yet another card to play, but you know this is not the place. The clouds are pouring down simple chances, tiny drops of redemption for all of your uninvited advances. You might think I'm leaving alone, but my shadow follows me everywhere I go. this time is an hour. If it were longer, I wouldn't stay. Oh, every second feels like an hour. If it were longer, I wouldn't stay here anyway. Ties that bind, just to make your fairy tale complete. But you're blind and numb to loyalty. For you, that's certainly no small feat. Turn your back upon your love for the trust of one who shall betray. The same person who made my name mud. Now all I've left to do is walk away. Go ahead, point fingers, guys. Make yourselves feel better about the negativity you spread. I'm not too sure about your conscience, or even if you have one anymore. Maybe you never did, and it was all inside my head. Seems like you didn't even want to try to keep me in your mind. And I can only hope it's 'cause you felt so bad that in your own head the truth you'd find. You've been thinking with your head, and I've been thinking with my heart. Does that make you the better one instead of me? You've been thinking with your head, and I've been thinking with my heart. Does that make you the better one instead of me? Go ahead, point fingers, guys. Make yourselves feel better about the negativity you spread. I'm not too sure about your conscience, or even if you have one anymore. Maybe you never did, and it was all inside my head. All inside my head.
It's pretty clear that we had something to offer that other listings, other agents' listings did not have to offer. We offered them the opportunity to sell their home, get their home sold in a very slow, tough market.
Come to Cloder Farms.
Lose yourself in the possibilities for your home, yard, heart, and soul.
Come to Cloder Farms
And see what we're building for you. Offshore, out in the Sound, your island getaway awaits. Yes, Block Island beckons. With so much to do and see, a Block Island getaway is now closer than ever. Ride the high-speed Block Island Express from New London on one of 4 daily departures, where an island escape is yours at GoBlockIsland.com. That's GoBlockIsland.com.
This is another old one. Sitting on the back porch, everything makes sense to me now. And things are much easier these days. Thinking a lot lately, our chances I've taken and which ones weren't. I'm happy I took the time to say that, oh, I'm feeling fine, good enough to sing that I'm fine, the way everyone should feel all the time, just unlock the rhythm with a rhyme. Late last night, words arrived to find their proper place, fitting together a vague recollection. I can feel the sunshine gleam off your face as you walk by. These are the little things that make life grand. Oh, I'm feeling fine, good enough to sing that I'm fine, the way everyone should feel all the time, just unlock the rhythm with a rhyme.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Same to you.
And to your lovely bride.
Thank you.
We've been privileged to have Tony Chagnon today on Live Lunch Break. I'm Rick Coster at theday.com. Next week we got So Percussion, and thank you guys for spending some time with us. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.